Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Conan and today we're going to be eating and training like Jeff Nippard. So let's get into it. Before we start eating though, we firstly got to figure out what to eat and how much of it we should eat. So therefore we firstly got to figure out what our calories and macros should be. So let's jump on over to the whiteboard to figure all that stuff out. So after reading Jeff Nippard's Ultimate Guide to Body Recomposition book, I actually took a lot out of it, and it's actually really interesting because he does have some pretty cool recommendations when it comes to setting up your calories and macros. So the first thing you should know, and this step should be pretty easy for most of you, is to determine what your ultimate goals are. So is it to lose body fat, gain muscle mass, or simply maintain your weight? You gotta know that in order to figure out all the rest of this stuff. And now basically based on that, you're gonna get your maintenance calories. And by the way, if you guys wanna know how to figure out your maintenance calories, there's a bunch of online calculators out there which will give you a rough estimate, but I also made an entire video about this a couple of videos ago. So if you guys do wanna go check it out, be sure to click this link right over here. Now, once you're back with your maintenance calories, again, you gotta figure out what your ultimate goal is. Is it to gain weight, lose muscle mass, or simply maintain your weight? If your goal is to lose body fat, simply subtract 10 to 20% of your maintenance calories, and that should give you a pretty good number. If your goal is to gain muscle mass, however, add 5 to 25% to that. Now, I know that's a pretty big range, so obviously for beginners who are more sensitive to muscle gain and muscle growth, I would lean towards the higher end of that percentage, like 20 to 25. Whereas if you're a bit more advanced and you're close to your genetic peak, then I would stay closer to the 5 to 10%. Now, once you have a rough estimate of how many calories you need, we gotta divide it into our macronutrients, which are our protein, fats, and carbs. So let's dive into it. So starting with arguably one of the most important macronutrients, protein. Now this may come to surprise to you because most of you are probably taught that you should keep it simple and just eat 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein every single day, which is a pretty good ballpark. However, Jeff Nippard recommends something a bit different. So he actually suggests a higher protein diet. So as you guys can see on the whiteboard right here, it's a sliding scale ranging from 1.2 grams per pound of body weight of lean body mass to 1.6 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. And now basically, depending on your body fat percentage, he would suggest higher body fat percentage people to be on the lower end of the protein, so around 1.2 grams per pound of lean body mass. Whereas if you're a bit leaner, he would suggest you to go around the 1.6 grams per pound of lean body mass. So let's take me for example. I'm 145 pounds at around 12% body fat, and basically when you times that, we should end up with 17.4 pounds of fat. Then you're gonna subtract that number, so 17.4 pounds by 145, your body weight, and that's how you get your lean body mass. So it should be 127.6 pounds of lean body mass, and then basically from there you're just going to take that number 127.6 times 1.6, which should equal to 203.2 grams of protein every single day. And obviously depending on your circumstances, your weight, your body fat percentage, and stuff like that, this number will differ from person to person. Alright, so now that we've got our protein out of the way, let's move on to our fats and carbs, which are luckily a lot easier to figure out. So when it comes to your fats, fats are absolutely essential because like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I've been on diets before where I just simply neglected my fats, especially my healthy fats, and I just noticed such bad side effects such as bad hormonal functions, lower testosterone, lower sex drive, lower libido. And so basically it is absolutely essential to have at least some healthy fats within your diet. So what Jeff Nippard recommends is to have at least 20% of your total calories coming from healthy fats. As long as more than 20% of your total calories are coming from fat, you should be good to go. And then lastly, when it comes to your carbohydrates, it is very simple. Whatever calories are left after you figure out what your protein and fat should be, fill the rest with your carbs. Okay, wow, finally after figuring out our calories and macros, now we can finally move on to actually eating some food. So let's get into it. So because I like to train pretty early on in the day, my first meal of the day is actually going to be my pre-workout meal of the day. I would also suggest adding some salt to your pre-workout meal to help with the pump. And now Jeff Nippard thinks that pre-workout meal is one of, if not the most important meals of the day because it's basically going to fuel your workouts, and your workouts are basically going to be the driving force of you achieving your goals and gaining muscle. So definitely do not neglect your pre-workout meal. Try not to go into your workout fasted or anything like that. It is absolutely essential to have some food, and so here's what he suggests. So as we all know, carbohydrates is the main macronutrient our body uses as energy. Carbs are absolutely essential when it comes to your pre-workout meal. What Jeff Nippard recommends is to have at least 1 gram per kilogram of body weight of carbs. So basically what that means is that if you're 60 kilograms, you're gonna have at least 60 grams of carbohydrates. Now obviously this number can vary depending on how many total calories you need to eat in a day. Let's say for example, you're 60 kilograms, but you have to eat like 600 grams of carbs a day. Eating 60 grams of carbs before your workout probably isn't enough. So it should probably increase that number. However, 1 gram per kilogram of body weight is a good kind of ballpark to stay within. Additionally, he recommends having different types of carbohydrates within your pre-workout meal. So he says we should focus on glucose and fructose. So basically like a starchy carb and then a fruity carb. So the reason Jeff likes to have multiple transporters in his pre-workout meal is because he uses the analogy in this book, which actually is quite funny. It actually makes quite a bit of sense. But basically, imagine there being like 80 people stuck in a room and there's a fire and there's only one exit, aka one transporter, aka glucose. Chances of all those 80 people making it out of the building alive are very slim. However, if you were to have 2 exit doors, so a glucose and a fructose, so multiple transporters, the chances of all those 80 people actually getting out of the room is a lot higher. So that's the analogy he uses, which I actually think is quite a good analogy. So yeah, that is the reason he likes to include both a glucose and a fructose in his pre-workout meal. Then when it comes to the protein, he recommends having 0.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. So again, if you're 60 kilograms, you'll have at least 30 grams of protein within your pre-workout meal. And then lastly, when it comes to the fats aren't that important as your pre-workout meal because basically they slow down your digestion rate. So depending on how close you eat your pre-workout meal to your actual workout, he recommends eating less fats. So anywhere from about 0 to 20 grams of fats. If you're working out immediately right after your pre-workout meal, he would suggest being on the lower end of your fat intake. Whereas if you're eating your pre-workout meal 2 to 3 hours before your workout, he would recommend being a bit higher in your fat intake. Alrighty guys, so it's been about an hour since we last ate and I really feel the food has been nice and digested, so we're ready to go. And as you guys can tell, we're actually inside of a car right now on our way to the gym. Yes, the gyms have finally opened again. I am so excited. So on our way there, I'll be sipping on some pre-workout by Cloud's Power, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't trained inside of a gym for like well over a month now, so yeah, because as you guys know, I was doing my home workouts for a while, but now I'm getting kind of sick and tired of it, and because gyms have opened again, I am raring to go again. So yeah, today we're going to be doing a push workout, and yeah, before we go do that, I am fully aware that my hair right now is an absolute mess. Like, I have no idea what the plan is here. Like, I don't know if, like, I need a haircut. So yeah, I'm fully aware. Don't tell me I need a haircut because yeah, I know I do. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and let's head over to the gym. Okay, so we just ate our pre-workout meal. We're nice and fueled up for today's workout. What should we do during our workout? Should we be incorporating intra-workout meals within our workout? Now, basically, Jeff doesn't think it is super essential to have an intra-workout meal within your workout, unless, however, you want to optimize your training performance, you have plenty of carbs to spare, your workouts last longer than an hour, or you train fasted. Now, basically, if you qualify within any of those categories, he would recommend having an intra-workout meal. Now, if your workout lasts longer than an hour and you have plenty of carbs to spare within your day, Jeff recommends having 0.5 grams of carbs per every minute of training starting 30 minutes in. So say, for example, your training session lasts an hour, 30 minutes into your workout, you can start having your carbs. If your workout lasts an hour, like we just said, you can have about 15 grams of carbs after the initial 30 minutes. Okay, so we just finished the workout. What should we do when it comes to our post-workout nutrition? Should we be downing a protein shake right after we finish our workout, or can we be a bit more lenient and wait a couple hours after our workout? Now, again, there's this really big myth out there that you should be eating something immediately after your workout, specifically like a protein shake. Otherwise, your entire workout will go to waste and the anabolic window shuts down. Now, basically, based on all the research Jeff has read and that's out there, this doesn't necessarily suggest that is the truth, especially if you had a solid pre-workout meal. Your post-workout nutrition isn't that important. Now, obviously, the sooner you eat something after your workout, the better in order to aid with recovery. However, you don't have to immediately like speed back home in order to eat something because it isn't that important. The anabolic window is actually much wider than we initially thought it was. So again, you don't have to eat something immediately right after, but again, you don't want to wait like 4 or 5 hours after your workout in order to eat something. Now, when it comes to what types of food or what you should eat post-workout, you should obviously focus on having a fast digesting protein, such as a whey protein shake or something like that. And then of course have some carbs as well. He recommends having again 1 gram per kilogram of body weight of carbs. So again, if you're 60 kilograms, you'll have at least 60 grams of carbs post-workout. Your fat intake isn't that important post-workout because you already trained. So if you want to have a higher fat meal after your workout, it definitely is a lot more acceptable than it is to have in your pre-workout meal. So if you want to up your fats after your workout, that is definitely okay. So what we got here is some tuna on corn cakes. Then on the side here, we got 2 servings of fruit. So we got an apple apple and an orange. And so it is very important to not only have fruit as your post-workout meal, because that only replenishes liver glycogen and not muscle glycogen. So it is very important to have both a starchy carb and a fruity carb. Okay, so now that 2 of the most important meals of the day have been eaten, the rest of the meals you can be a bit more lenient and a bit more flexible with. So obviously, because 2 of those meals were primarily carbs and protein, I'm just gonna add a bit more fat into my meals. Yeah, I'll be adding a bit more whole eggs to my meals, and some avocado, some peanut butter and stuff like that too, just to kind of slow down the rate of digestion before heading to bed. And obviously I'll make sure to have protein in each and every single one of my meals as well, because you still gotta make sure to hit our protein goal today, which is at around 200 grams. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. After reading Jeff Nippard's Ultimate Guide to Body Recomposition book, I mean, there is so much information in this book. It goes into great depth and detail about every single macronutrient, how much of it you should be eating, how to figure out your calories, how to figure out your macros, protein, carbs, fats, the importance of each macronutrient. Should you be doing cardio on your diet? Should you do intermittent fasting? What type of supplement should you take, etc., etc. So I do highly suggest reading that book if you haven't already. It is around $40 or $50, but honestly I do think that it is worth it, because it comes with a bunch of formulas as well to help figure out exactly what your body needs in order to achieve your fitness goals. So anyway, guys, with that said, a big shout out to Jeff Nippard. He's an absolute legend. All his videos are very scientifically based. The information he provides is top notch. The quality of his videos is insane as well, and it is very easy to follow along and learn from him. So if you haven't already, be sure to go check out his channel, because it is absolutely insane. You'll gain so much knowledge from it. But anyway, with that said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to go give this video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.